So in 1974 was the first really organized Mayapur Vrindavan festival. And by that time I was president in Portland, Oregon, in the northwest corner of the United States. And so we went to first to Mayapur for 2 weeks, then to Vrindavan for 2 weeks. And those days, they used to organize everything for the devotees. Everybody came on the same flight, you know, and everything. So we went to New York and joined with all the other devotees, and almost 300 devotees got on a big 747 and, you know, flew to London. And, you know, because practically the whole flight was devotees. We were doing kirtan and running up and down and jumping in the aisles, and poor pilot, he couldn't see any turbulent weather on his weather radar, and then he finally figured out, all right, everyone, please take their seats. Yeah. Well, we were doing kirtan at 40,000 feet, you know. It was wonderful. Then we got to Delhi, and then we took, you know, they had planes arranged for us to go to Mayapur. They had buses to take us to Mayapur, and they had buses to take us to, everything was all arranged. Now everybody makes their own arrangements. For those days we all came together, and it was a lot of fun. And then, you know, so that was the first time. And in Mayapur, we got so sick. And Jamun and Guru Das were there in Vrindavan, they heard. And when we got there, they were just like our mothers and fathers. They made nice, you know, smooth prasadam, not very spicy, and they didn't use lots of oil. And they treated us just like, and Guru Das, he would take us around and show us all the places, Nandagaon, Barsana, all these places. And he would tell the stories in such an enchanting way. He became my pastime guru, my Prikrama guru, first one. The other one was Padmalochan. He would take us on Prikramas. And I fell in love with Vrindavan. Somehow or other I just felt I belong here. But I was temple president, so I couldn't convince my GPC to let me stay. Then somehow in 1984, although my responsible service irresponsibly left me, so I just stayed in Vrindavan and never went back. So I'm still there for the last 40 years. And whoever comes, then I take them, and I always serving the Vaishnavas by showing them all the places and telling the pastimes that Krishna did in those places.
You wanted to speak about Prabhupada's lecture and your initiation?
Oh, when I was initiated, then I don't remember much of the lecture, but at the end, Prabhupada said there's a small Bengali verse. It says, Suchi hoy, muchi hoy, jadi Krishna tyaje. Muchi hoy, suchi hoy, jadi Krishna bhaje. Prabhupada says two. Suchi means clean, Brahman. Brahman means very clean. And muchi means the cobbler, the dealer in skin. Prabhupada said it was such disgust, skin, you know. He's the lowest down in society. Brahman is the highest down, muchi is the lowest. But he said, but even if one is suchi, yadi Krishna tyaje, it's like tyag, you know. If he has given up Krishna consciousness, or he has no Krishna, he immediately becomes muchi, lowest down. But even in what is muchi, lowest down, if he has yadi Krishna bhaji, if he's worshipping Krishna, then he becomes suchi, the highest. So take advantage of this small Bengali verse and make your life perfect. And then Prabhupada climbed up, and he did the fire yajna, then he climbed up and did kirtan, and we were all in front of Vyasa-san. And it wasn't that you bought dhotis from Loy Bazaar. We went to J.C. Penney's or Woolworths or Walgreens, and we bought 65% dakan, 35% nylon, peach-colored cloth. And since Bhavananda was the person who made me a devotee, he got this nice, silky, smooth, very shiny and very slippery cloth. And I'm jumping up and down in front of Prabhupada, and all of a sudden I felt, zoot, zoot. And I just grabbed my dhoti and I was jumping up and down like this in front of Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
How do you think we could maintain a community atmosphere and loving and trust amongst the devotees?
That's a very good question. If we always remain very humble and realize that we're the servant of everyone. Because people always ask me, how do you stay in Vrindavan? Because so many people have tried. But somehow, because I have no devotion, I have no bhakti, I have nothing. But somehow or other, because I'm serving the Vaishnavas, somehow or other they by their blessings I'm just going on. So we have to, if we have this attitude of service, that I should serve and rather than be served, then we can grow our community very nicely. We all help each other. That's why Prabhupada created this society, so we could join together and help each other. instead of fight with others. In the material world, if we're up, we like to stomp on everyone else. If somebody's greater than us, then we criticize. If somebody's equal to us, we fight with them. If somebody's under us, we stomp on them. But in spiritual life, if somebody's above us, then we take their blessings. If somebody's equal, we make friends with them. If someone is lower, then we try to help them. This is a spiritual consciousness. So this is the best way, that spiritual consciousness, then the society can grow very nicely.
How do you think we can accept the personal form of God?
Well, that was the thing that blew my mind when Bhavananda said that God was a person. Then it suddenly made so much sense. You know, it just made sense. And because I remember we took some drugs one time, we went up on the mountain, and I had such a marvelous experience, and I turned around, because I thought I'd seen God, you know. And I turned around and realized I didn't see anything. I didn't see anyone. And I was really frustrated. And then couple of weeks later, we were at the temple, and, you know, I've seen this picture of Krishna, and there was this waterfall, and there was pine trees. There's no pine trees in Vrindavan. But there was pine trees, and like this, and Krishna's playing. And I realized that was, because we were just there. We were in the mountains, the water was coming down, you know, and we were seeing and the moon, full moon was there. We had just seen the full moon, and on Balaram's Purnima, you know, we didn't know it was Balaram. We'd seen the full moon between the pine trees and the water cascading down. And I said, that's what we missed was Krishna, because Krishna was there playing his flute, you know, the peacocks in the tree, that beautiful Indian poster, Murli Manohar, you know. And I said, that's the missing thing. Krishna was missing, you know.
Can you talk about the 5 kinds of rasas that we can establish with Krishna?
Yeah. So, and in Krishna consciousness is all types of relationships with Krishna. Because because everybody says God is love, but they think it's just a light. But how can you love a light? Love means there's two. If we're all one, then there's no question of love, because there's only one. So actually we're two. We're just a tiny, like the sunshine. The sunshine is heat and light. The sun is heat and light. But if we say the sunshine's come in my room, it's not the same as if the sun came in my room. Sun comes even near, will be vaporized, you know. So we're just we have same quality, but tiny quantity, like that. And we can have so many different relations, all the same relationships that we have in this world. So, first of all, there's neutrality, where one just appreciates that God is great. Then there's servitude. Oh, God is great, I have to serve Him, you know. Even beyond that, there's a type of Maya, that regular Mahamaya takes us away from Krishna, but Yoga Maya brings us closer. So that awe and reverence becomes an impediment. So then there's Sakhiras, where we can think that we're equal with Krishna, or even greater, you know. Srinivas says, I'm going to beat you in the wrestling match today, you know. And Mother Yasoda's thinking, she's in Vatsalya Ras, she's thinking Krishna's my little child. If I don't feed him, he'll get sick, you know. If I don't punish him, he's going to grow up to become a thief, you know, get so much trouble, you know. So one even becomes superior to God. And then the highest, just like, anyway, the highest is Madhurya Ras. So that's the highest of all the rasas, you know. So there's no question of equal or anything. We just love each other like anything. So these 5 rasas, there are 5 different ways we can experience our relationship with Krishna.
And is it that we just serve Krishna without being conscious of what rasa we have, or do we actually have to have a personal, voluntary decision?
Just like, well, that's what I said, there's Yoga Maya. She takes out all concept. The Brajvasis, they don't love Krishna because he's God. They just love him because he's so wonderful. He may be whatever he is. He may be a thief, butter thief. But anyway, we just love him. So this relationship is this is inconceivable. This is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. This is what he came to give. Because even Lord Brahma, he got bewildered. Krishna was biting his laddu and giving to his friend. And his friend was biting, oh, your Mother Yasoda make nice laddu. And Madhavanga says, wait a minute, he takes a bite. He says, you see what nice laddu that my mother made, you know? And then he offered it to Krishna. And we don't learn that in our Bhakta class, that we take a bite and offer it to the Lord. But Lord said, oh, your mother, very nice laddu maker. So Brahma, this is Bhagwan, or yes, some Bhagwan, Gwal Kabanahui Bhagwan, the cowboys made up a god or something, you know. So he got bewildered. So this is only mercy of Lord Chaitanya to help us understand this Braja Prem.
Is that what they call Raganuga Bhakti, where it's beyond rules and regulations?
Yeah, but that's very, very high state. Right now, just like I wrote a poem, that the Vaiṣṇava we have heard is he who is to be served. But to such a one as you, this is my Vyas Puja offering, how can we give what's due? We only hope and pray that when your followers come to your home Vrindavan Dham, by service of their feet, your mercy we will meet. So we don't know. The Lord is so. We are so very small. How did it go? We are so very low. The Lord we do not know. The Vaiṣṇava we have heard is he who is to be served. But to such a one as you, how can we give what's due? We only hope and pray that when your followers come to your home Vrindavan Dham, by service of their feet, your mercy we will meet.
So in other words, we have to serve the devotees.
Yes. Krishna said in Nectar Devotion that those who say they're my devotee, I don't know who they are. But he who says he's a devotee of my devotee, he's my devotee. Okay.
How do you see your spiritual master, Guru principle, when he's no longer in Vapu form?
Well, it's very important in Krishna consciousness that we have friends in whom we can confide. Because just like Rupa Goswami says, revealing one's mind and confidence. We have to, it's very important to have friends with whom we can confide. And help each other. As I was saying, we have to help each other in Krishna consciousness. Usually as soon as we find out some weakness of a devotee, then we advertise it all over the internet, you know. But we need to have someone that we can trust, that we can reveal our problems to, and we can take advice from, and help each other in Krishna consciousness.
Would you like to close up with a pastime of Krishna, maybe from your book or one of your favorite pastimes?
You're going to have hours with them. Trying to think of a short one.
Maybe I have a question. Now you know when Lord Mother Yashoda is chasing baby Krishna with a stick, is Krishna actually afraid of her, or is it just to show just for the sake of the pastime, or is he really feeling afraid? You know? Krishna's
one quality is sarvagya. Gya, you know, from gyan, sarva means he knows everything. But for his pastimes, he becomes avagya, he doesn't know anything. For his pastimes, Krishna becomes so absorbed in the pastime that he forgets everything. So he's actually afraid of Mother Yasoda.
Is that a potency of Mahamaya?
That's just Krishna's own inconceivable potency. To enjoy his pastimes, he becomes avagya. He just forgets that he's God and that he knows everything. He just to make the pastimes more relishable.
benediction we can get from Krishna if we were to ask him?
Well, when Lord Vishnu asked Dhruva Maharaj, what benediction you want? He said, Swami Kritartosmi. My dear Lord, I'm fully satisfied. I don't want anything. Devotees they're just happy serving Krishna, and all they want is service. And this is the beauty of Bhakti Yoga, because the ends and the means are the same. The means is to serve Krishna, and in the end we're serving Krishna. Just like today in the temple, so many people were involved in cooking for Krishna. So when they go back to Godhead, they'll also be cooking for Krishna. Same thing going on, just with different levels. So the ends and the means are the same.
So does that mean that we should face death fearlessly?
Oh, Lord Chaitanya, he has a beautiful verse. He says that Sri Rama Govinda Mukunda Sori Sri Krishna Narayana Vasudeva Ityadi Namamrita Panamata Bringata Payakila Dukkha Handre. He went into a Shiva temple and he composed a Sivastikam. And he says Sri Rama Govinda, and Adi means etc. in Sanskrit. So he says Lord Shiva is Akila Dukkha Handre, who takes away the sorrow of this whole world. How? Because he's always absorbed in this Namamrit, Panamata, not just tasting, but he's absorbed in relishing the Namamrit of all of Krishna's names. How? Bringadeva, like a bumblebee. And the bumblebees, they go to the lotus flower, because the nectar in the lotus flowers, we have a special name, makarand. And they just go on drinking and drinking and drinking, and at night the lotus flower is going to close. But he just stays there drinking and drinking, and then in the evening you can see all the lotus flowers, you can hear inside, bzz, 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 bzz. In the morning he opens up and that bumblebee is dead. So we have to chant like that death will come before us, and we'll just step on his head and go, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You got a whole bunch of blocks, I think. So I don't know how you're going to boil that down to 20 minutes.